am Noelle Spear, and I'm your direct contact for DI this year. So tonight, our team manager meeting, we're going to do a little housekeeping and discuss some program updates to start with. So team numbers, I've been getting a lot of emails about this. At this point, if you were designated before last week, you should have already been sent through DI your team number and your background code. If for whatever reason you don't have that, please send me an email. I will get it to you. I have a full list of those numbers and the background code for your campus. If you want an additional team number, or your campus is like, we have so many students wanting to participate, I will work on sending those out. You can request one, but I'm not going to send any till next week. I need to make sure that all campuses have a number first before I start sending out seconds and thirds. Winter Blitz. So Winter Blitz is going to be virtual to align with the Dallas Regional Tournament. The one in January for sure needed to be held virtually. So I went ahead and both School Leadership A and ACE and School Leadership B, which your tournaments in February will be held online. And we'll talk about that more in a minute. So someone has already emailed about transportation requests. I do not need you to submit a transportation request because we're just going to have to cancel it. Then calendar updates. So as most of you know, I've sent an emails previously at dallasisd.org/DI. There is a calendar listed. It has all the dates and deadlines for the year. And this is even planned with the regions. So it should be everything you need till pretty much March 1st. On there, the improv challenge. The date is incorrect. So improv will actually release on February 12th. And then the deadline to turn in if your team is doing improv challenge is February 15th. Then shirts were originally going to be due this Friday. I am going to extend that till after we get back from winter break. So it's just one less thing for you to worry about. Last, but definitely not least, this is super important because I need you to sign your Oracle designation so that you can get paid and so that we have official documentation that you have a DI team. So we're going to talk about designations a little bit more in a minute. Oh, and I left off one important thing. If you have any questions tonight, feel free to put them in the chat. We will break after my presentation. I will take a few questions, and then Ben is going to present to you about the regional tournament. All right, so signing your contract in Oracle. And this has been a question I've been getting repeatedly. So it's in Oracle, you go and you find your agreement and you click accept. And after you click accept, you need to type your name exactly as it appears. So like in this example, Cortez, Kane. Okay, you have to type it exactly. No spaces. It needs to look Kane, Cortez, or Cortez, Kane, just like that. All right. If you continuously have trouble, you can feel free to reach out to me or to Erica. We will definitely help you with that. All right. So contracts. So that's just housekeeping. So now we're really going to talk about Winter Blitz a lot tonight. And then the rest of our meeting, we'll discuss kind of the regional tournament. So Winter Blitz, you are still, even though it's virtually, it is split into two groups. So if you are part of School Leadership A and ACE, that's your network, yours will be Saturday, January 23rd. If you are part of School Leadership B, yours is Saturday, February 6th. So I've gotten the question of, hey, I don't know my network, and that's fine. I've posted the list, elementary through high school. It's at dallasisd.org/DI. So, and I can look that up for you, but it's just going to be faster if you pull. So if you'll see in the screenshot on the slide, that is where it's located. And the deadline for registering for Winter Blitz will be Friday, January 8th. That's the first week we get back from winter break. I also want to say Friday, January 8th is the date you have to finish or finalize your registrations for the Dallas Regional Tournament. So that's a really important date this year. Winter Blitz details. Okay, so I have put up kind of a mock schedule that we're playing with just so you can see with time, so you have a rough idea to share with your team. Winter Blitz is going to be from 9 a.m. to 1. It will be through Zoom, and I'm going to send out more specific details on that later. So you're going to be assigned into different groups. So there will be ideally like between 4 and 6 teams in your group, and then the presenters will rotate through. So you're going to only have one Zoom link that you have to share with your students. So that way it keeps it clean, and then they will come in and present a different session to you. So some of the topics we're going to talk about: working virtually. We'll talk about how to utilize instant challenge materials, and we're going to have a practice virtual instant challenge. So you know how to upload your videos, not only for instant challenge, but also for the team challenge. It's going to be the exact same process. So you know what to do when it comes time for regionals. Registration. So registration for Winter Blitz is at activities.dallasisd.org, and you click on competitions when you log into that. I will post directions for that tomorrow, tentatively at, again, it's my favorite website for y'all, dallasisd.org/DI. So you can reference those. I know, and then the deadline for registration again is January 8th, same day as your regional tournament. Okay, this is an example, just so you know, when you get to that registration site, I need you to know. So again, you'll register by whichever group you're in. So if you're in school leadership A or ACE, or you're in school leadership B, you need to know that. And then by your level. So, you know, are you a rising star? Are you elementary? Are you competing at middle school? Are you competing at high school? Or for the very few that are university level, there's registration slot for y'all as well. Okay, instant challenges. So instant challenges this year, oh, and I left the dates off. Let me pull it for you. So instant challenges will be released on February 5th. It is a Friday, and they are due Monday, February 8th. Okay, and they come with 3 tables of materials, and one of those tables is listed here, and then the next 2 I have on a slide that's coming up. So these tables are located in the rules of the road. And for you that don't know, the rules of the road is kind of your guide to everything DI. It has any rule kind of you need to know for the tournament this year. So the materials are going to be sent to your campus in a big box. So what needs to happen when you get this, because if you'll see here, there are like 10 things on this. So I'm going to send you materials to campuses. And then when you get your box, I just need you to separate it out into your 3 tables. So table A, table B, or table C. So you can use a maximum of 15 materials from each table. So I won't just send you 1 sheet of paper. I will send you a stack of paper to use. I won't just send you 1 index card. I'm going to send you a stack. So then you'll have all that you need for the tournament. The only exception to that we won't be sending, that I need you to start collecting now, and this is really important. So you need 15 sheets of newspaper and 15 toilet paper rolls. So between now and, let's see, that's almost over a month, or it is over a month, because January 23rd is the first Winter Blitz. I need you to try to collect those. If for some reason you cannot get either of those items, please feel free to reach out to me. We'll figure something out. But those are the only 2 things that won't be sent to your campus. All right. And then here are table B and table C, just for your reference, so you can see what all is on them. Okay. Oh, and Ben, you have such impeccable timing. Okay, so this is Ben Jones, who just popped in. He is your regional director. He's over the Dallas region. And if you need to contact him after his presentation, his email is doingdidallas@gmail.com. And I am going to let you take over from here.
All right, man, I left my admin meeting just on time. Let me go and pull up my presentation.
Oh, wait. And while Ben's getting ready, I'm going to go ahead and answer some questions. So someone asked, can you review how to complete the background check? Yes, Ben is about to answer that conveniently enough. How do we know if we need a coupon? Oh, you all have a coupon or background code. Nobody, please do not pay out of pocket. I've already had one team contact me and they were really excited about this year. And so they bought their own team number. I know how expensive those are. If you did that by mistake, email me. DIHQ, who runs DI nationally, has been helpful, and they will reimburse that. But you have to let me know so I can make that happen. All right, my greatest challenge is how to practice instant challenge virtually. So I need lots of ideas. Okay, we are going to cover virtual instant challenge at Winter Blitz. There are also some practices. They've released 3 and I posted them in the challenge folder at dallasisd.org/DI. Will the team need to be together for the instant challenge? No, I feel like your own challenge this year in general is just going to be the DI challenges. How do you work virtually, you know? So, and Ben, we will talk about that more, and we will be discussing that for sure at Winter Blitz. We're going to do a whole 45-minute session on best practices. So to prepare your team and have you look ready for the regional tournament. When should you expect the box of materials? So we've already started ordering all those materials. I am going to try to get them out as soon as possible. It will be in January, to answer your question. I am going to try to send it, if not before we leave, like the first day we get back in January, because Interschool Mail's been running behind. Do Rising Stars participate in Winter Blitz? Yes, you are more than welcome to participate. I'm not going to exclude anybody. It's a virtual meet. I will find a presenter. We will have a fun session. You'll do something very similar, but appropriate to your level. So actually, that's a good question. So everyone will have the same sessions. They're just going to be geared towards, are you elementary or are you high school? Because what you're doing looks differently at those levels. And I'm going to stop there. Ben, you ready?
Well, again, my name is Ben Jones. I do work in the district. I'm an assistant principal at Bryan Adams, but I am also the regional director for Dallas DI. Any of you that have been around, you know me, you've seen me. I'm not a strange face. So tonight, I do want to talk about how kind of interacting with DI works this year. So obviously, Noelle will give you things like how to interact with the Student Activities Office for materials and things like that. But I want to talk very specifically about how you actually are going to interact with the program, with the paperwork, and submitting your solutions. Because I think there's some really interesting stuff this year that's new. It's new for all of us. So I'll go ahead and say we are all learning this year. So as we kind of progress through his, please do read emails, do pay attention to announcements and things, because things may change. The system, the structures are still being built. No one in the 35 years of its existence has anyone ever thought about doing DI completely virtually. And so we are all creatively problem solving this year throughout the process. So there's 2 key places that you have to interact with Destination Imagination. It used to be that we had 3 or 4 places that you had to go to get materials, to get registered, to access things. This year, we've simplified everything into really 2 places. It's really one place with 2 ways to get there, but it all uses that same DI account that you're creating when you claim your team in the resource area when Noelle sends that to you. So the first one is resources.destinationimagination.org, and I'm going to show that to you. Keep in mind that mine is going to look just a little different because I do a lot of things in DI. So I'm going to have more buttons than you will, but that's okay. I'm also not going to remember my password because you're all watching me do it. Got it. So when you log into the resource area, which is what we call this. We'll just call it the resource area. You will have similar buttons to this, right? You'll have yearly tasks, your code of conduct, you'll have background check complete, you'll have all of this stuff that goes in here, and you'll have pretty much all of this information with a few differences. But this is kind of your link to everything you need. So today, or in the last few weeks, you should have received this link to the team manager training, where you also will log in, and that's stuff that's created for team managers that you can use. You just have to log in using the credentials that were sent to you. Accessing your team, editing team information. So I have a fake team here, but you would see this team, and if you need to edit anything, obviously you can change the organization. That would be your school name. And your region would always be Dallas. Your team name, all of those things. This is where you're going to control all of that information. What I want to show tonight is this challenge materials and documents. So challenge materials, you'll see I have a whole lot of things within my challenge materials. But essentially for you, you're going to have in the program materials, US letters. You're going to have the quick start guide, the team challenges, rules of the road, and roadmap. Eventually, this tournament data form will also be there, but you do not need it yet. You will get it. It'll open sometime in January. So key things this year, as always, the challenges are written here. The rules of the road are super important this year. If you don't really read them, and yes, at Winter Blitz, we're going to talk a lot about how to submit your solution and some of the rules around them. But if you don't really read the rules of the road this year and understand all of the intricacies of how you have to upload your solution, how you have to name things, the timelines, the deadlines, all of those things are essential to you being able to be successful this year. And so I will say you're going to want to read the rules of the road. I'll even show you some places that I think are really important for you to pay attention to. They've done a great job this year of highlighting specific things that are new. We don't usually do this in the rules of the road, but they've done it. So if you look visually, it's really easy. Right? So this is a change. If it's underlined, it's always going to be changed. Anything in teal is going to be something that it's true no matter what. Anything in blue, in this navy color, is going to be something that is specific to a virtual tournament. And so the key thing there to understand is that our regional tournament is a virtual tournament. So anything in navy is a rule that's going to apply specifically to our regional tournament. Anything in orange is something that may apply at the affiliate tournament because it has not been decided if it will be an in-person or virtual tournament. Or it may apply to global finals if you advance to global finals, because it is global finals is yet to be decided if it is an in-person or virtual event. So keep in mind, anything in navy is going to specifically apply to our regional tournament. Anything in orange may apply to the affiliate tournament, but may apply to global finals, but that'll be determined when they announce those things. So keeping in mind, anything underlined is really important to look at, because those are things that are new this year. So if you're like, oh, I've been doing this for years, as we've all done, you're going to want to pay attention to these underlined pieces, because these are all super important things for this year. So what I want to do is specifically when you look at tournament timeline, and I'm going to go over this for a minute, but there's a different timeline, right? The tournament no longer is a one-day event. It is now a month-long timeline of deadlines and submissions and paperwork, so that we can make sure we receive everyone's submissions, we can make sure everything's correct, we can make sure the appraisers can do it. So this is key. Make sure this, I'll go over the timeline, but instant challenge, again, you're going to want to read through all this, but our instant challenge time is specifically this February 5th, and I'll go over that again. So you're going to want to read all of this. very specific. It's very clear. You're going to want to read it all. So if you have not read the rules of the road yet, that is the first place I would start. Paying special attention to anything in teal, anything underlined, or anything in navy. Obviously, your challenges, and then your roadmap and the roadmap addendum. These are all things that roadmap is resources for a team manager. The roadmap addendum is some specific stuff around virtual challenges, building teamwork at a distance, highlights of the rules of the road, additional tools for helping students do that, what's the tournament going to look like, those procedures for submitting, and about training. So pay attention to that one. It's got some stuff that was put out after we had done the roadmap specifically for team managers given this specific world. I will say that we are lucky enough that they do have the challenges translated in Spanish. They don't have the full challenges yet, but they will. But they do have instant challenges in Spanish already in there. I think the full translations are on their way. But please do keep in mind that our tournament is held in English. So even if you have a student that has limited English, your team predominantly speaks English, or predominantly speaks Spanish as their first language, that is okay. And you can give them materials in other languages as part of their learning, right? The challenges are translated so that they make sense. So if you pull a translated challenge to use with your students, it's perfectly fine. It's going to line up to the way the English is phrased, but our tournament will take place in English. So I think it's just really important to kind of keep in mind. That is the resource area. If you're having resource area issues, I can fix some of them. Noelle can fix some of them. And then some of them we have to send to DI to fix. Chances are, if you're having an issue with the resource area, you haven't claimed a team or you aren't assigned to a team yet. So it's not going to ask you to do a background check until you're assigned to a team. It's not going to ask you to accept anything, or you're not going to see anything or have access to anything until you have claimed a team or have been assigned to a team. And I know that they're working on that process. So that is the resource area. I'm not going to go much more in depth about it right now because I've shown you what you need for right now.
Will you go over real quick? Will you go show them that background code process? They wanted to see that, or is that coming
the
up?
Background check process?
Yes, please.
I don't know that I can actually show it because mine, let's see. Because my background check was waived, so I don't. I can track background checks. That's about it. No, I don't think I actually can. I don't know what it looks like. I've never done it.
So I did do it. So 2 things about background checks. I've gotten some emails on this. Yes, the background check is a DIHQ policy this year. And I could speculate as to why, but that's not really our point. So people have asked, hey, I'm a teacher and I understand that. And however, that's not Noel or a student activities or a BIN or a regional DI policy. That's national. So I do need you to complete it. And it is located here. So once you log in and have your team, it should be like where his says the green background check complete. That is going to be where yours will be, and you'll just enter your code there. I can also talk you through it. I helped, I like Zoomed or Skyped or we video shared recently with someone and we walked through it. So feel free to reach out to me if you are having issues with that, and we'll have a one-on-one.
Yeah, and if you, same thing, if you're having issues with a team number or anything like that, Noelle is your first place to go. She has access to the back end of things on team number assignments and user accounts and emails. And so she's, quite frankly, I'm an assistant principal at high school. So getting me to respond in the middle of the day is much more difficult than getting Noelle to respond because I'm never sitting at my computer. So if it's an immediate question, I am not the right person to ask because it'll probably take me a little while. So that's the resource area. Again, anything that's not like green and says complete, you can click on it and it will take you to the place. And then there's a code to put it in. But again, it's not going to ask you for a background check. It's not going to ask you for those things until you are a team manager. Don't purchase teams. You don't need to use that button because that is if you actually want to purchase and pay for a team, you don't need to do that. And then I'm going to keep going because otherwise I can sit all day long on the resource area. The second place, and this is super important, it used to be that you had to create a separate account and create all the separate information for the Texas DI registration. This year, you do not need to do that. Our registration system and the DI HQ registration system have been linked. And so now you will just register through the DI system. The nice thing is it will keep all of your registration information for the regional tournament, the affiliate tournament, and the global finals tournament. And so you don't have to keep re-registering for different tournaments. Your registration information will carry with you as you advance. So that's registeryourteam.org. And this one I can show you a lot of what it's going to look like for you. Obviously, I will have some extra stuff. But you'll log in with the same login you use to get into the resource area. And what you won't see this your tournament. This won't be there for you. That's me because I run the tournament. You will have your team. So I actually have a fake team that I'm the quote unquote team manager for. Noelle is my co-team manager for it. But she hasn't finished her paperwork and you'll see that. So this is what it looks like. It'll say like, here's a registration. It'll list the Dallas tournament as your tournament. It is open now. When you click on that registration, this is what you're going to see as your registration page. And it's really, really helpful. It's going to tell you team managers. If you have one team manager and you have a second team manager, they will have to have a background check. So if you list a second person on here, they have to have a background check through DIHQ. And if they don't, then it will disqualify your team. But you can add a team manager here. If you're the only one or once everyone's done, mark complete. And that's kind of the key is once you've done everything, mark the section complete. For team members, same thing. Now here's the cool thing about this process. Because you have to send and because kids have to do release forms, in order to make this all virtual, you don't actually have to send those forms. You don't actually have to collect it. Everything this year is virtual. So when you go to add team members, it's actually going to give you this link. And this link is specific to your team. And when you click on it, it takes you specifically to team member registration for a team member. Now, you can fill in this information for a student, except this is the waiver. So don't do this for kids. Like it will let you, right? It won't stop you from doing it, but don't do it because this is their waiver. It is specific to, it's a virtual activity. It's all of the things, but it includes the media waiver, all those other forms you used to have to get. You don't have to get them anymore. They just check this box, but it's going to ask them for, their name, their gender, birth month, or sorry, birthday. Then the parent information has to be there. Address has to be there. And then phone, all that kind of stuff. This is collecting all of the information that we normally collected in the other stuff, but it's from a very legal perspective that we have to have it. So that's how you do it. Once all your team members are there, the nice thing is you'll be able to see when they are all there. So you'll see all of the team. But again, you just click on add team members and you can send that link directly to their parent and they fill it out and it's pretty quick. And then once everyone's there, your whole team is there, you just mark complete. For appraisers, you do still have to have 2 appraisers To add appraisers, it's the same exact thing. You're going to hit add appraisers. They're going to have a specific link. You send that to your appraisers. And now they're going to register. Now, the key thing for them is it's going to tell them, you got to be 18 years or older. You have to have graduated from high school. If you completed high school, I should say. This is fake data. It's a test tournament. It's going to say, like, you're committed to doing these two things. You're going to go to appraiser training, which is January 28th. You're going to work at the tournament, right? If you're not going to do it, don't fill out the form. Ask the team to find another appraiser. So the nice thing is this year, you're just sending it to them. It's going to get them have the opportunity. What do? Do you have children on a team? Because if they have children on a team, right? So if you're getting a parent to serve as an appraiser, they'll need the team number. But if they have a child, like if their kid's on that team, they can check this one. If they have a kid on multiple teams, multiple children on different teams, then they can put those in here too. And that'll actually create, for me, when we're assigning appraisers, it'll trigger for us where we don't want them because they can't appraise their own children. And then they'll get to choose what challenge they would like to be with, or preferences at least. They'll accept the code of conduct just like you accept the code of conduct. It'll ask them for their t-shirt size and they'll be done. Again, the nice thing is you can track it. When you log in, you'll see. Once someone has registered, it'll be right here. And it'll be right here. You're going to see this pay fee instead option. Yes, that is an option, but it's not a fee that anyone at Student Activities is going to pay for you. So if you don't supply those appraisers, it will ask you to pay a fee for not having them. So get your appraisers. The nice thing is you can track it. Now, for tournament fee, you do not have to pay your tournament fee. DISD pays your tournament fee. So ignore this. You don't need to do any of this. Yes, you can have parents on the phone and help them with it if you want to, as long as they know you are checking that box and you are doing it for them. But anyway, so you can see this all. It's always going to show you as incomplete. What I will do is once everything else is complete and marked complete, I will go in and add your team to the invoice for DISD, and then we'll mark you as paid. And that's how it'll work. But make sure you get in there. You'll want to make sure everything is edited. Any information about your team, like the name, the challenge, if you want to make changes, that's all in the resource area, right? So it's all linked together, right? Notice it takes me back straight to the managed teams in order to do it. But that's how tournament registration works. It's pretty simple. If you have somebody else you want to add, you know, like if you have, let's say you're one of the schools that has multiple teams, multiple team managers, maybe you have some parent team managers as well. You can ask them to add you, or you can add that, like if your school has like one person who coordinates DI, but then you may have multiple team managers, because I know we have some schools that are like that. If that's the case, you can add that person. So if you have a campus administrator or campus coordinator who handles it, you can add them. Or if you are the campus coordinator, then you can add other team managers or anybody else to this, where they can also see and interact with your team registration. If you're both listed as team managers, then everyone has access to it. But that's how register your team works. It will ask for t-shirt sizes. It will ask for it'll ask for your t-shirt size. It'll ask for appraiser t-shirt size, and it will ask for participant t-shirt size when parents fill that out. So just keep that in mind. That's how all that information will be collected. So registeryourteam.org. You will just see, when you first start, you'll see a purple one that just says Dallas Tournament, because that's the one that you can register for, Dallas Regional Tournament. Now, things to know about the tournament. It is entirely virtual. It is entirely virtual. There is no in-person face-to-face event whatsoever for this tournament. All of your challenge solutions, including your team challenge and your instant challenge, are recorded in a video. They're uploaded to YouTube, and then submitted with your tournament data forms in the resource area. Keep in mind that that rule about uploading to YouTube is a hard and fast rule. It is in the rules of the road. So make sure, and it can be yours, right? If you're a DISD employee, it can be your DISD login for Google and YouTube, and that's fine. It keeps it safe and it keeps it behind the firewall. You mark it as unlisted. It's got those instructions, and we'll go over it at Winter Blitz. But they have to be on YouTube, and then you provide that link on your tournament data forms. Pay close attention to deadlines, and I'm saying this in the most loving and caring way possible. Pay attention to the deadline. I've been doing DI for a long time. I've been doing DI in Dallas for a long time. We're not always great with the deadline. This year, if you miss a deadline, your team will be disqualified. Because of the way the system works, if you miss a deadline, your team is disqualified. And I need you to hear that. I need you to know that. I need you to internalize that, because there is no like, oh, we'll make it work. It is not possible. You will not be able to compete if you do not follow the deadline. This year, we will still have t-shirts and pins. The t-shirt design has gone to the printer. The pins have gone to the pin folks. We will do a pickup coordinated sometime within the tournament timeline to make that work so everyone can get them. Those are included in the registration fee that DISD pays for you. So we'll make sure that you still receive those. I'll go ahead and answer it. No, there are no pins from last year. We did not charge the district for those. And so they ended up getting caught in China and not getting produced because the Chinese factories that produced the pins shut down because of COVID. And then by the time the factories had reopened and we could resubmit our order, it was July, and we just decided not to do it just because we didn't want to create that expense. Here is the tournament timeline. Take a screenshot, take a picture, tattoo it on your forehead, do what you got to do, because these deadlines are hard and fast deadlines. There is no movement on these deadlines.
Okay, again, all these deadlines are they're posted in the same calendar. Ben and I got together before I even posted that calendar to dallasisd.org/DI. So they should look exactly the same. However, what he's showing you is just the deadlines you need for the tournament. So January 8th again, when Winter Blitz closes for registration. Also when your registration is due for the Dallas tournament. Okay, so all these things sync up. Again, I said there was a mistake on the calendar I posted. I'm going to fix that and update for you. February 5th is instant challenges when they open, and then they close on the 8th, and then the improv challenge is actually the 12th and 15th, not the 15th through 18th, which is what I accidentally posted.
Yeah, that's actually my fault. I told you those dates and then I got corrected. So January 8th, again, registration closes, and I mean closes on January 8th. Yes, we will send out the PowerPoint. I'll put it in present mode now that I'm done clicking around. So January 8th, registration will close, and I mean close. There's no late registration. If you don't meet January 8th, you can come begging, and maybe you'll catch me in a moment of mercy. But January 8th, it is closed. And the reason for that is DIHQ has to process all of those registrations and do a test of the email addresses and everything else, because on February 5th, team managers will get an email that is the instant challenge. It's not going to be like, hey, your regional director has them. I'm not going to send it out. It doesn't come from the region. I won't even see it until it is sent to teams. As soon, or on February 5th, it is going to be emailed, the challenge, at midnight. The challenge is going to be emailed to team managers. Yeah, you definitely have to have decided what challenge you're doing by January 8th. February 5th, instant challenge goes directly to the team manager. By February 8th, you must have submitted your instant challenge solution video. Period. If it's not in by 11:59 p.m. on February 8th, your team will be disqualified from the tournament. This is a global rule. Everyone in all of DI is following a 4-day window to complete your instant challenge video. If your team is doing improv, the improv unknowns will be emailed to team managers on February 12th. You will have until 11:59 on February 15th to submit your video of the solution. That's it. And if you miss that, you cannot then change your challenge last minute because the other challenge videos are just due 4 days later. So you pick your challenge, you register for your challenge by January 8th. Instant challenges are sent directly to you on February 5th. You have 4 days for instant challenge solutions to be submitted. February 12th, your improv unknowns go to just the improv team. On February 15th, that video must be submitted. On February 19th, if you're in any other challenge, so if you're in engineering, science, fine arts, technical, service learning, or rising stars, then your challenge videos are due that day. On February 27th, we will actually appraise all of those videos. So why is there such a big gap? February 19th, you submit everything. From starting on February 20th, our challenge masters have to review all of that paperwork and make sure everything is complete, make sure all of the links work, because if the links don't work and all of those things, then we have to send them back to the team and say, this link doesn't work, please make the link work, and things like that. So one, make sure your links work when you send them in. But then that way, the next Saturday, we can get all of our appraisers online. We'll appraise those challenge videos. By the end of the day that day, preliminary scores will be emailed to the team manager. You will have until March 2nd as our final day for any score appeal, right? So if you get a 0 on something because it wasn't there, you're like, no, it was, here it is in the video, you can appeal that, but you only have 3 days to do it. You get your scores at the end of the day on the 27th, you have the 28th, the 1st, and the 2nd to file that appeal. We'll deal with all of those appeals as they come in. On March 3rd, we will actually release final scores and announce the winners. Okay, that is the tournament timeline. Again, Noel has these dates on the calendar. They're the same, but they are hard and fast deadlines. We will send email reminders, but understand that there's no opportunity for grace in these deadlines this year because of the structure of the tournament, because we're doing it virtual, because we have to make sure everything works. The time it takes to do all of that, we cannot be flexible on deadlines. Just going back to the resource area, things that you need to make sure you read. If you're like, man, I don't know what's going on right now, I feel a little confused, he has said some words I don't know, this is where you start. Go back and read the rules of the road, especially the new sections and especially the parts on virtual submission. For the full challenge, make sure you read the full challenge. Read the challenge carefully. They are very clear on things that have to be in your video, things that have to be part of this, all of that stuff. Read those challenges very carefully. And then the roadmap. If you're wondering where to start, if you need to look at some of those things and those questions about how do I, what does it look like to do this online? How do I do it where all my kids aren't together? How do I build a team that's all virtual? The roadmap has some great resources for building collaboration, for doing some creativity building and things like that. Okay, I'm gonna start taking questions. I'm gonna answer as many as I can. I've tried to answer as I went along. And I know Noelle has done some work typing. Christine has done some work typing, so it's possible that I don't have anything to answer right now.
Okay, Ben, Melissa wants to know, you used to give out, or you had it loaded on a shared drive, the instant challenges, like a whole packet of them. Do you still have that, and can you share it?
I do still have it. I probably can share it. I'll have to find it. I think I archived it within my own drive. I will tell you, those instant challenges are helpful in general. There is a pack of instant challenges in the resource area that are specific to virtual instant challenges, which are the things you're definitely going to want to be practicing right now. I can tell you that almost every instant challenge, we've said for years, instant challenge at regional tournament has a lot of tasks and tower building. A lot of what's happened in instant challenge in the past will not be true of instant challenge for the regional tournament. Instant challenge for the regional tournament is going to look a lot more like build a product and then sell it to the appraisers, or build a prop and use it in a story. And we're actually going to score the use of the prop in a story. You don't actually even film the building of the prop. So I would say when talking about instant challenge, start there, because those are designed to mirror the virtual instant challenge experience. Yes, I will send these slides to Noelle to share.
And speaking of instant challenges, I have posted the ones that DIHQ, they're at dallasisd.org/DI. Click on challenges. I put a whole little instant challenge folders. As much as I've been given for virtual challenge is posted there. Now I will post the slides and send y'all a reminder link. I'll also update the calendar. All right, we got a question. So where is the registration for regionals again?
Okay, so again, there's two sites. There's the resources site and there's the registration site. So if you're registering for the regionals, you're going to registeryourteam.org. And if you have not claimed your team, if you have not completed your background check, things like that, then you won't be able to register your team yet. It's only after your team is clear and ready to go, claimed and things like that, that you can actually register your team. So registeryourteam.org.
So again, this makes it really important that you start getting that paperwork in, because even though you're just sending a link, they still need to send it back to you. So you're relying on other people. It's like sending papers home, and you are all very familiar with that process of, I need you to get your parents to sign this. And how long does that take? So the sooner you start, the better, because we have 2 weeks off for winter break, and January 8th, I mean, we'll get back, and it's like when you got back from Thanksgiving, something comes up. So please, like, the sooner the better. I'll try to send a bunch of reminders, but this is important that we hit those deadlines.
Yes, you can help parents on the phone. I'm fine with that, but you want to be very clear with them that you are checking a box that indicates their agreement to the waiver. Also, I saw one question, I think it got answered, about appraiser registration. Originally, we had said appraisers have to be registered by December 11th. We understand that's a stretch. By the end of this week, we will start looking at what teams have appraisers and don't starting this Friday. But you need to consider having all of your appraisers done and registered. To complete your registration on January 8th, those 2 appraisers have to be there. So understand, you cannot mark your registration complete until your appraisers are complete. So when we say registration has to be done, it will not let you mark your registration as complete and let you register for the tournament fully until both of those appraisers are there. So while December 11th is when we'll start pulling reports and start reaching out to folks, please understand January 8th is your absolute deadline, because we train them 20 days later. And so there's a lot of setup to get them set up on the mobile scoring and separated out of the challenges this year. So it's really important that we get them as early as possible. So appraisers are the same thing, just like you add your team members on registeryourteam.org. I'll show it to you one more time. Once you go to registeryourteam.org, you log in with your same login that you use for the regional or for the resource area. You'll have a tournament like this that says Dallas Regional Tournament. You'll click on that. It will take you to your team's tournament registration. Team managers, team members, and then appraisers. To register your appraisers, you're going to hit add appraisers. You're going to send this link to the people who have agreed to be appraisers for you. So you're going to send that link, they click on it, and they fill it out. Okay, again, this has a waiver, it has the code of conduct. Do not fill this out for your appraisers. Have them fill it out. Because they need to know what they are signing up for. They need to commit to the code of conduct and all of those things. So send it to your appraisers, and then you'll see as they are here, right? Then once it's done, you're complete and you'll be able to mark your registration. And it'll tell you, so once you've completed all sections, you'll be able to submit your registration. Don't submit until you're complete. So it actually won't even let you click on submit until everything is done. So once all these sections are done, we will go through, and anyone who is done on January 8th, we will mark the fee paid and make sure it's taken care of, so you then can go in and finalize. No, the appraiser form is not in Spanish. Appraisers must be English speaking. Because our tournament is conducted in English, if an appraiser does not speak English, it is impossible for them to participate in the appraisal process. In the past, we've been able to use volunteers that were not English speaking in different roles, but this year, because there's no physical tournament, we don't need volunteers that aren't appraisers. So appraisers must be English speaking. That answers, Dana, I see your question, 2 appraisers. It's just 2 appraisers. We don't need any other volunteers because we don't have a physical tournament to run, so we don't need any other kinds of volunteers. Where do you pick your appraisers? Yes, if you have good friends on your campus, they are a great place to go. It's a wonderful place to get them, is your colleagues and friends that would like to do it, but also parents of students, anyone else that's interested in doing it. God bless anyone in my life, they always get roped into being an appraiser every year. So since it's virtual, do appraisers need to be in state? No, they do not. I will take anyone who wants to appraise and is willing to be committed to what it takes to do that. Can appraisers be your family member? They can. There's no limit to that. Will appraisers work virtually? Everything is virtual. Everything is virtual. There is no in-person element to any of the tournament this year, from training to the actual tournament to appraisal or anything. What are the appraiser requirements? Appraisers must be 18 years old, have completed high school, and
I'm going to say they also need to fill out volley, please.
Yeah.
For Dallas ISD.
If we have more than 2 appraisers that have signed up, should we have them sign up? If you have more than 2 people that want to be appraisers, we will gladly take them. You can just keep adding people as appraiser, and they'll keep doing it. Yes, the appraiser training date, which I believe is on the calendar at dallasti.org/DI.
Okay, they're Thursday, January 28th. It will start at 5:30. It will be virtual. And the tournament date for appraising is Saturday, February 27th. Now, we may need to do a trial run, but those are the 2 solidified dates for your appraisers. So again, Thursday, let me pull my calendar. January 28th, we'll start at 5:30. And then Saturday, February 27th. And it will start, when will we start that morning? 9, 8?
Yeah, we'll start at 9.
9, okay. Good question.
Can an appraiser also be listed as a coach? No. An appraiser cannot be listed as a coach because it would create an immediate conflict to have someone who is a team manager also serving as an appraiser. No, your appraisers don't have to come from your campus. They can be any adult who's willing to commit to what it requires to be an appraiser, which is attend training and then spend their Saturday on Zoom, right? Again, if they don't have a computer, if they can't use Zoom, if they can't function in the digital world, then they're not great candidates to participate in scoring a virtual tournament. You should put your home address for the background check, by the way.
That's okay. If you need to go, that's okay. And we have one more. Asked if you could show the parent consent forms and that link one more time.
Yeah.
Please.
So again, registeryourteam.org. As you add team members, it's this link. So, and it is unique to your team. So you can't just copy this down. That's right here on my screen. When you get into registeryourteam.org and you begin your registration, this link for add team members will show up, and that's what you send to parents to fill out. Any other questions? Okay, that's all I've got.
And that's all I have. I just want to really thank you for coming. I know your campus lives are really interesting right now, so thank you for taking an hour. If you have any questions, you can email me, you can email Ben. It's virtual. And I will get back to you as soon as possible. I will post this all online. I know you have different conference periods, and I try to post that information so when you want to look at it, it's available to you. But know that I am available by phone. I am available by email. Ben is as well. Ben and I talk pretty regularly as well. So we're hoping to make this situation a really great DI year for you. And Winter Blitz, with that said, it'll be virtual, but we're going to try to do cool things. We all know what bad Zooms look like, so I don't really want that for you or your students. So have a good night. Thank you for coming.